All right, music fans, welcome back. Harmless Dave here on the Harmless Dave channel, talking about, real music and a little bit of drama yesterday, and people sending me all kinds of messages about it. And of course, doing it in real time for a handful of people out here just like you and just like me. Please follow me here. Please hit the little subscribe button. All right. And like the videos, share the videos, talk amongst yourselves about the videos. Patreon, by the way, if you want to discuss videos or things that I post over there, that's a good way to support the channel. Patreon and the old buy me a coffee. Now, before I get going on the drama, the journey slash voyage drama, no, Hugo isn't replacing Arnel Pineda in Journey. Okay, just that'll probably be the title of the video because people will be like, "What? What's happening with Journey?" Nothing is happening with Journey, but people speculate. I'm not the only one that speculates. I wanted to share this band here and this particular album. This is Chimera and The Greatest Wonder, which came out like 9 years ago now, 8, 9 years ago. I mean, this is fantastic. I went to great lengths to get this because if you look at the CD, it's stamped with some public library thing, Hamilton Public Library. I don't know if that's Hamilton, Ohio, or Hamilton up in Canada somewhere. But this features the song Borderline and also Beautiful Life. But there are a number of really strong songs. And for fans of Journey and Toto and Survivor and Foreigner, stuff with keyboards, okay? Cheesy keyboards right here. And I think this is probably their best album. If not, maybe the album that came out after that one. The one they did a couple of years ago is really good. And if I spend more time with it, it will probably grow on me even more. Chimera, it's a great project. It's on Frontiers Music. You can't get the older physical CDs, but of course you could stream it. So Hugo decided to part ways with the band Voyage, or it was mutual. I did speak briefly with Hugo yesterday, sent some messages back and forth, and it sounds like it was kind of like a divorce. All right. Like they just weren't getting along. And, 20-year relationship, it's tough. It's tough. Imagine being married for 20 years. That's tough. Some people are married for like 40 and 50 years. Holy crap, Batman. How do you do that? That's not easy. So they parted ways, and Hugo is rebooting his old band called Valentine. If you haven't heard Valentine, for you melodic rock fans, you're like, duh, I've heard Valentine. Hugo, back in the day, the legend has it that Neil Schon was spooked by the fact that Hugo looked too much like Steve Perry. And at that time, Neil Schon was suffering from PTSD, Perry-Traumatic Stress Syndrome. And the reason he was suffering from PTSD is because Steve wasn't coming back to the band, and he wanted Steve to come back. They were supposed to go out on tour, and so they didn't want a clone, even though some would say Steve Augeri was kind of a clone of Steve Perry. He was Steve Perry with a perm, as Dean Castronovo so eloquently said years ago in that documentary. I'll never forget that. He's Steve Perry with a perm. I haven't talked to Dean in a while. I'm going to have to try to find out what's going on. Get the scoop on what's happening in Journey. But apparently nothing's happening. It's status quo. So people were sending me messages. Wouldn't it be great if Hugo replaced Arnel in Journey? Arnel's not going anywhere, folks. There's loyalty there. Arnel has been in the band for a long time. And what I've noticed reading some comments is that people have so many different opinions about certain things that it's hard to keep up with them. And I'm learning to try to say, okay, not everybody's going to agree on this. So we're just going to have to agree to disagree and move on. Like some people like grunge. I don't like grunge. And then people try to sell me on how great grunge is. And I'm like, you know what? Can we just be peaceful about this? And I'll say, you know what? I don't like it. You can go ahead and like it. I'm not stopping you from liking it. It's just not my thing. But anyway, so Voyage has a new singer, and people are making comments that the new singer sounds more like Arnel than Steve Perry. And so that's interesting. I think he's got a strong voice, and they went younger, which probably keeps them in business for a long period of time. Keep in mind, I'm not sure if I posted the video here. I'm pretty sure I did, but or maybe not. It may have been somewhere else. But the point is, um, people are going to these concerts and they're partaking in a large quantity of adult beverages, according to the people who are spending hundreds of dollars, because they have that kind of money. So the $14 beer doesn't bother them. They're happy to be there. And by the time they've had their third or fourth adult beverage, they don't really care what the lead singer sounds like. And this will happen with Kevin Cronin. This will happen with the Little River Band. This will happen with a number of bands that are out there with either different singers or declining singers. In the case of Voyage, they did a good job with Hugo. And I'm sure Hugo with Valentine will do a great job because apparently he's going out there as a Journey tribute with his old band. And these are guys who he probably got along with better. Hence, he was in this band years ago with them. So that's my take on it. I don't know if it's as much of a take as a report on what's happening, but for those of you looking for a shakeup in the world of Journey, maybe in 2025 something's going to happen, but that's like saying, Jesus could come back in 2025, which he could, and maybe something will happen in Journey. I think there's probably a better chance that Jesus will come back in 2025 than Steve Perry coming back to Journey. Just all right. So on that note, I can't really top that, so I'm just going to stop. That's kind of how I do this. Chimera, one more time, just to showcase this. It's the greatest wonder. Actually, the greatest wonder is Jesus Christ again. It's the holiday season, but it's not just any holiday. It's Christmas, Christ Mass, Christmas. See how that works? So yes, put Jesus back in the reason for the season. Put him in there. Put Christ back in because he's important. Giving gifts is nice. Getting money in the mail, excellent. But having a relationship with God through Jesus Christ is way better. It's the best, actually. So yeah, that's my plug for Jesus, Chimera, and Hugo, who is moving on to bigger and better things.